Hi guys, it's Jess. Welcome back to my channel, and today I thought we would do a reading on how you think they are versus who they really are. So I do have 3 piles here, pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. If you need another minute, go ahead and pause the video here. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get started with pile number 1. All right. Oh, interesting. Okay, so even though I have these cards pre-shuffled, I have not looked at them yet. So we're looking at these all together. Okay, so let's start over here with who you think this person is. First of all, just overall, the vibes that I'm getting is that maybe this person is a little more, they're stronger and more stuck in their ways maybe than you realize. But there's a lot of similar energy here. So you probably do have a pretty good handle on this person. So who do you think this person is? You have Neptune, Jupiter, and Mercury up here to start. So I definitely think that you find your person to be very dreamy. A lot of times in Neptune connections where you feel a Neptune connection with someone, this can almost feel like your dream partner. It can also be really hard to see this person. It's definitely the energy of, well, Jewel, who has her astrology channel, she says that Neptune connections are connections where a lot of people feel that they have met their twin flames. And that's not to say that they haven't or that they have, but there is that very dreamy quality to Neptune, because Neptune can be the deceiver. But the thing about the 12th house and Neptune is that it is also the house of soulmates, deep soul connections. If you have a 12th house connection with someone, a lot of times you feel like there is a psychic kind of a connection, or that person, it can feel a little uncomfortable because you feel like that person maybe has access to you in a way that other people do not. So right away, I can see that this feels like a very significant connection to you. And why wouldn't it, right? Because if it wasn't, you probably wouldn't have clicked on this video about this person. Also with the Jupiter and the Mercury card here, I'm getting that you think this person is very, very intelligent. Jupiter being the natural ruler of Sagittarius. Just to note, you do have Sagittarius energy over here, right? So that's congruent. So we do have the Jupiter energy and the Mercury energy. So that's that Gemini-Sagittarius axis. This person could be well-traveled. They could have interest in a lot of subjects. This could be a person that, even a lot of spiritual subjects with Neptune here. So this could be a person that also they might really like space. They could, just because this looks like a galaxy to me, but I'm getting kind of a brainy person who has a lot of knowledge on a lot of different subjects. Again, this person could be well-traveled. They could be kind of well-known. I think that people will generally really like this person, like with the Neptune energy, and also the Jupiter and the Mercury energy. I feel like a lot of people this person's very friendly. And they're in whatever way that is. They're probably not afraid to use their words. They probably use their words in a really, potent is the wrong word, but they're good with words in a way like that makes people feel good. You know, they can break down barriers. So moving down here, my intention here was 2 light attributes and 2 shadow attributes. So the light attributes, we have victim and addict. So the light attribute for victim is prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. An addict is help you recognize and confront addictive behavior. So I get a powerhouse kind of a vibe with your person, like a champion for the people. This person's probably not afraid to use their voice in order to, and their knowledge and their life experience and maybe even philosophical concepts in order to stand up for other people. I'm definitely getting an activist type of a vibe here. This is definitely someone who, shares on their social media a lot of for a lot of causes that they feel that they can see in the world. And I feel like the information that this person shares, or like the perspective that this person shares, is really awesome. And they pull from a lot of different sources, and a lot of it's probably very spiritual. This person could have had some kind of a traumatic past that they have had to confront and overcome, especially with the Neptune here. Because sometimes that can deal with addictions in astrology, or like places where we can tend to numb out. But with the Jupiter right next to it, I am kind of getting like that they've overcome. They could be a leader in something. Like if they were an addict or they had something to overcome, then you see them as like a champion of that thing, whether it's, it could be alcoholism, it could be codependency, whatever that is. This person, you see this person as having overcome something. And so with the shadow attributes, we have Avenger and Hedonist. So the shadow attribute for Avenger is resorting to violence in the name of a cause. And the Hedonist, the shadow attribute, is pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. So, this person could very well have, again, I'm getting addiction vibes. But I'm getting that this person is very, very passionate. This person could be someone who goes to protests. Maybe the way that they protest you find to be kind of violent, or this person would go to extreme lengths in order to achieve their goals in some kind of a sense. It could even be something like they could have done some kind of extreme therapy or something to get over an addiction, and you're like, wow. I know there's kind of weird therapies out there, like people putting leeches on their body, or, I don't know, being up in a mountain for 30 days and walking over hot coals. I don't know. I'm just saying, this person could have done something very extreme in your view. But I'm still getting an activist sort of an energy. So you might wonder if this person takes it too far, I guess sometimes. You could think this person gets around a little bit, especially with these energies up here. They can kind of be freer love type energies. And so that just might be something that you notice with this person. Maybe this person's not really a one person kind of a dude. At least remember this, we're talking about how you're viewing them. Versus how they really are, right? And we're still talking about how you're viewing them. I do think that you think this person is very beautiful in kind of a very, I think this person's probably tall. I'm just getting that. And maybe they have sharp cheekbones or something about their face that's very defined and enigmatic. If you look at this person, these guys look very similar, and why wouldn't they, right? Because Gemini Sag shares an axis, but it's this person has kind of a slender build, tall, with sharp eyes and defined cheekbones. So your person could very well look like that. And especially with the Neptune energy, I'm just getting kind of a dreamy quality to your person. I do think your person has a way of explaining emotions. So you view your person's past as the Two of Wands. So I do think that your person, and with the Jupiter energy here, I'm getting that your person could have come from a stable kind of a background, maybe even a family who, this is the type of family that would want them to, go to college. They want them to have some kind of, they've built a foundation for this person to grow kind of from. And maybe your person has, again, done a lot of traveling in their past with the Two of Wands. They could have even traveled on their family's dime. They could have had a lot of goals. I think you think that your person gets around, in more ways than just the sexual way, I think you think your person is well traveled, and has had a lot of experiences and had the opportunity to pursue a lot of their goals. And through that, I think that you find that your person is pretty contented nowadays, because their current energy and the way that you're seeing them is the Nine of Cups. So, I mean, clearly she's meditating. The Nine of Cups is all about emotional fulfillment after a harvest. It's a very singular card. So again, it's like, I think you think your person is single and maybe they get around a little bit, but maybe you feel like they don't take relationships super serious, but you're still kind of, I feel like you're a little bit in awe of this person, you know, where you're like, how did you do that? You know, your person could have higher education. They could have traveled for some kind of education. They could have done a study abroad program. Just, you find yourself kind of in awe of their life a little bit. They could have a spiritual practice that is engaging and it speaks to you in a kind of way. This person could be a meditator. Yeah, they could have gone like on some kind of shamanic hike or journey. You know what I'm saying? Like having some kind of a rich and eclectic background to them. And so you see this person as pretty emotionally contented. You could even see this person as closed off to love. Like this is a person that maybe, I mean, and then in the future position, you have the Emperor. So I think you find that this person's pretty content on their own. Like they call their own shots. They don't really want to, like, I know it sounds awful, but they don't really want to like pander to someone else, like having someone else in their life, even though they're a very loving person. But the energy of Neptune, the energy of Jupiter is broad loving. It's loving groups. It's not like Venus, where Venus is like your one-on-one relationships. I always, with Neptune and Pisces energy, first of all, oh wait, no, never mind. Sorry. That is, no, Jupiter. Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces and Sagittarius in Vedic. So, and then with the Neptune energy here, you have heavy Pisces energy. And I always think of Amma, like the hugging saint, because Venus is exalted in Pisces, like that way of loving. And people like want a hug from Amma, you know, like because she's just so loving. That always reminds me of Pisces energy. And then Jupiter is like the guru and the group, right? Kind of energy. And Mercury is still like kind of, it's a communal energy. So I'm just getting that like your person loves in a broad, more communal way, or at least that's how you see them, versus having one-on-one relationships. And then I think that you think that your person is bound for success in some kind of a way with the Emperor card here. And like you think this person kind of comes from a background that has allowed them to have like these really awesome experiences, and they don't have to, I mean, but they've still had their struggles, you know, and that it's all building them into like this really amazing person. You probably see a lot of leadership qualities in this person, and you can tell that your person's very goal oriented. And I do think that you see this person as capable of achieving their goals with the Emperor card in the future position. You think very highly of this person. And I think that, I mean, this is like very well-rounded energy, you know, with Neptune, Jupiter, and Mercury. It's like this person's very social, this person's very smart, this person's very loving, this person's very spiritual, you know? And so you see that, and the Emperor is the embodiment of all four kings, right? You know, the suit of pentacles, the suit of cups, the suit of air, the suit of fire. So I do think that you see this person as learning a lot of life lessons, achieving a lot of their goals, and ultimately becoming the master of their own domain in the future, which is very attractive energy. I would be surprised if you're not attracted to this person, but what do I know? So some traits about your person. Okay, yes. First of all, you have 2 sevens here, and the Chariot is major arcana card, so it's pulling a lot of weight here, down here in the pile. The Chariot is the young king on the move. So I do think that you see this person as a young king that's growing up to be an emperor. And this, I think that the Chariot's all about, you know, like separating yourself from authority, starting to have your own thoughts. But the king on the move is more dynamic than a king who has planted his castle, right? I think, again, that your person could come from a background of wealth or some kind of status. Definitely something that has a strong foundation to it. And you see your person as very determined, probably very, you know, beautiful or handsome, however you would describe that, and definitely moving forward. I think that this, like I said, this person's like on their way to achieving something. And what's interesting is you have the Seven of Swords down here. So I'm getting that you see an independent streak in your person where they like to act very independently. Again, because with the Seven of Swords, there's two armies involved, right? Because he's a part of an army. He's acting independently to go steal swords from this other army, and it's like you have a lot of resources. So you could see that your person is trying not to maybe rely on their familial resources or what other resources that they have access to, because they're trying to test their merit on their own. This person could be living far away from home, to where you might look at this person and be like, well, you have some kind of privilege or you have some kind of status. Why would you not be using that for your benefit? But this person isn't, in some sense of the word. Or they're like living a life separate from their family, something like that, where you're like, well, if I had a family like that, I feel like that would help me along, And then with the Ace of Cups, again, this is the energy of like being very loving, this is like kind of Neptunian energy, actually, when you think about it. It's divine love. It's very spiritual, very loving, but it's the big cup, that overflows into the vastness of the ocean. So again, it's like your person probably has like a lot of different groups of friends that they kind of hang out with. They get along with lots of different kinds of people. And kind of love living that life, but they're very loving. Like, people think about this person in a very high light, is what you think. You might think that a lot of people want to be with this person. And I also see, there's definitely you see some kind of spiritual side to your person. And I do think that you see that with the Ganesha over here, like that they are trying to overcome obstacles. And because it's the totem, that's probably energy that carries on over to, how your person actually is. So, yeah. Let's see, do I get anything else? All right, let's move over here to how your person really is. So, to start, we have Uranus, Capricorn, and Sagittarius. And a couple of these energies are very similar to over here, right? Uranus it's Aquarius energy, which is an air sign, and Mercury is just a very airy kind of an element. And Aquarius and Uranus is definitely, it rules friendships. And Aquarius, the 11th house, this rules our friendships. It rules like our broader community. So I'm definitely getting that carryover with that broader community kind of energy. But Uranus is also, it's the planet of, it's a flash planet. So your person probably has like a lot of ideas. They probably get swept up in their ideas, which is, I think, why we have the Sagittarius energy over here. It's like, that's why they like being in new places. They like combining that knowledge that they have into new groundbreaking ideas. They like to be a food mixer of thought, in a sense, where, if you take this piece of knowledge from this culture and you combine it over here, then what if we did this? Your person, Uranus and Aquarian energy, this is groundbreaking energy. It's the energy of the scientist, but not just any scientist. This is a scientist who knows their science, but they use science in the way that it's originally meant to, which is to ask more questions, to break down more barriers, instead of saying, well, in science, there's a phrase that you can never prove something right, you can only prove things wrong. So this is not a person who lets what they know like shut things down. It broadens, it only adds new questions. So this is definitely like a groundbreaking kind of a person. But with the Capricorn and the Sagittarius energy here, Capricorn, this is the energy of the 10th house. This is like 9th, 10th, 11th house. So this is definitely got that, Jupiter being the natural ruler of the 9th house, the Sagittarius house, that's congruent energy. So I definitely think that your person probably is well-traveled. They have a very broad mind. They like learning about philosophical things. They concern themselves with the big questions. Definitely with these two energies here, they concern themselves with the big questions of life, why we're here, and they want to make the world a smaller place. They use their travels, they use whatever bigness they have, whatever status, whatever. And I'm just struck by this. Like, look at this Sagittarius card, right? and how this is the centaur. Sagittarius, like that's the emblem of with the centaur. And look at the chariot, where it's like he's a king in his chariot pulled by it, but it's like him and the chariot are one. He is definitely like propelled forward by some kind of a mission. This is a person on a mission. I am getting that your person is very independent. So I think you're pretty spot on about that. Definitely with all three of these. Uranus, Capricorn, Sagittarius, all very independent energies. What I think you don't quite get is how grounded your person is, because Capricorn is the natural ruler of the 10th house and it rules things like business. Capricorns, they are very practical. They have plans, they have goals. So it's, none of this energy, right, with Uranus and Sagittarius. This person is able to synthesize that down into the earth element with Capricorn. They're able to create long-term goals made up by shorter-term goals. This card is so hot to me in this deck. I just feel like your person's sexy, really sexy. And this person is goal-oriented, so it's like they want to ground. We had this energy in another reading, I think. But this person is just grounding down amazing, groundbreaking ideas into like a business plan, into like whatever their chosen field is. They have like a practical plan for grounding these things down. They're going to make a lot of like weird stuff that people consider maybe fringe. They probably have a talent for making that really accessible, and also showing how it works, like showing results. This isn't someone who's going to be like, I know Reiki, and like hold their hands over your head and you're like, I mean, do you though? This is going to be somebody that you feel a little woozy after. You know what I mean? Like this is someone who they back up their weirdness, right? So in a sense, I'm getting that maybe your person kind of knows how to walk the walk, talk the talk. This person has a real business sense about them. They know how to like, you've seen that meme with the guy like that's reading the book and the book says like how to pretend to be normal. Like your person can blend in, but they have a lot of zany ideas in their head, but they're actually not zany and your person can prove it. You know what I mean? Just give them some time. So moving on. With the light attributes, we have child, nature, and Samaritan. So the light attributes here, it's friendships with animals, communication with nature spirits. And the Samaritan refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. Your person is kind of awesome, but I think you know that. Your person probably really likes nature. This is probably why they like to travel. A lot of their travels were probably to very natural areas. Maybe I was getting kind of like a shamanistic adventure vibe. Like your person went like hiking in, I don't know, like the Tibetan mountains or something like that. That's very, very spiritual. This person loves animals. This person looks after the weak. So like they're using their status, they're using that kingly energy in order to help people. That's very important to them. They want to be a remover of obstacles. And they want to do that in like a really powerful, potent, but yet still spiritual way. This person is a groundbreaker. This person is a groundbreaker, and they definitely have like a mission. If it's not, I am a person who I believe in spiritual missions and things like that. But if you don't, like they've assigned themselves a mission and they're going to do it. So with the shadow attributes we have knight and martyr. Shadow attribute for knight is allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle, romantic delusions. Interesting. And then martyr is addiction to self-pity. So again, I'm getting the energy of parents. Like this person might feel held back by like their parents or by society. Honestly, with the Uranus energy in Sag, like they could feel held back by tradition. The knight is the doer for the king, for tradition, right? And the king is someone who is very traditional, very planted, very rooted, and then the knight goes out and does his bidding. So it's like that could be this person's parents, where this person feels like there's a checklist that is expected of them, they have to accomplish before they're left alone, basically, and allowed to live out their own dreams. But I mean, this also could be like some kind of program that they're a part of. Like maybe this person is highly educated, or they're in some kind of a program and they're like, oh, I have to adhere to, all this from this program, but I have all these interesting, new, groundbreaking ideas that I know are going to work, and I want to spend my time doing that. So I do feel like your person, it's like they have a collar on, and yeah, I mean, I do think they feel sorry for themselves in that kind of a way. But your person strikes me as someone who does have a lot of resources, so it's kind of a trade-off. It's like you might have a lot of these responsibilities, but at the same time, like you have resources that probably a lot of people don't. And I think this person kind of knows that in the back of their mind, but it doesn't change the fact that, they want to, yeah, I mean, and look at this, they want to be free, kind of is what I was saying. I mean, this almost feels like they're being like pulled forward, and their body's kind of gone slack. So yeah, they could feel a little not in control of their own destiny, and a little upset about that. A lot of groundbreakers feel kind of trapped by bureaucracy, or, it's like, in a lot of sciences, you get grants to fund your work, right? So if this person has, stranger ideas, it might take them a longer time to get their research funded or something, because it's not falling into mainstream, something like that. So your person's past, in all actuality, is the Queen of Wands. So your person could have been, like, they could have, gotten around a little bit. I think your person is very attractive. They could have been in a relationship with a Queen of Wands kind of character. And the Queen of Wands is definitely like, there is that feeling of spirituality. Somebody who is kind of witchy, maybe taps in to spirituality in a way. And again, with the dragon and the little hummingbird, and I'm getting that your person really loves animals. They might even have some kind of special gift with animals. Your person might actually be studying to be a veterinarian, because we have like the horse imagery with the centaur, we have the goat imagery with Capricorn, and we have this little, rabbit with child nature. We have this horse here. There's a lot of like animal energy. So I do think that your person cares a lot for animals if they're not studying for, doing something with animals. They might have some kind of weird power with animals. I don't know. I don't know about life. Yeah, and so in the past, I think like maybe your person they felt a little bit more in charge of themselves, because with the Eight of Wands is their current energy. Something got like all shaken up. Maybe there was they had to travel somewhere, they received some kind of news that really shook them up and shook them off of their pedestal here. And then you have 2 8s here. It's interesting because you had 2 7s over here, and you have a 7 down here, but now you have 2 8s up here. So I think your person is more in a period of transformation than you probably realize. And I feel like your person maybe felt like they had more control over their life in the past, but then there was some kind of communication, some kind of shakeup in their life that's currently going on. And in the future, it's like they're going to put their nose to the grindstone. They know they have a lot of hard work in front of them, and they want to perfect their craft. And again, with the Eight of Pentacles, there's a lot of like helping the community kind of an energy. And I am getting healer vibes from this person, but in a really unique kind of way. So yeah, I'm getting that your person really wants to help people, and they're ready to put their nose to the grindstone, and maybe this person, they were able to float by a little bit more on their presence, maybe their name, their travel, something like that, but they're getting ready to kind of buckle down, if that makes any sense. So like attributes of your person, you have the King of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles. So definitely with the King of Swords energy, with Uranus and even like this Mercury card, this is a person who is very, very smart. The Swords family, I just get such an energy of like, this is a high achieving family. This is like the Harvard legacy family, where there's a lot of academic expectations. There's like, I'm getting that this person has like certain familial expectations for their education in particular, With the King of Swords here, I do think that your person is talented at, I mean, they probably do come off pretty cold. I think you pick up on that where you, like for you, it's like, this person doesn't really, isn't really looking for a relationship. And I do think that's true, but it's more of like your person is very goal oriented. They know how to like trim down the fat of a situation in order to get to like the bone, you know what I mean? So that your person's super goal oriented. Like they are very individualistic. And I think you kind of, I think you do have a pretty good idea of this person. It's just like minor tweaks because this person is very goal oriented. They're self-centered in like kind of an awesome way because it's like they have a lot of goals that they want to meet so that they can develop themselves and help people. They want to be a groundbreaker. They are a groundbreaker. This person has a lot of powerful energy and they're trying to channel it in a way that they can help the world. This is a person on a spiritual mission in a sense. And I say in a sense all the time. I'm like becoming aware of it. With the Four of Pentacles, it's like, yeah, this person is somewhat closed off. I'm getting that's like this person pretends to like be more well off than they actually are. I don't think that this person's poor, but I kind of think that they have to put on like kind of a front. And I get a lot of cerebral energy, like where you definitely see a lot of spiritual energy in your person. And there is some of that there. I don't think it's to the extent that you think it is. It's like, because this person, right, is blocked off at the crown chakra, the heart chakra, and their feet are planted. So your person has a stubborn streak. And I'm also getting that with a Capricorn because when a Capricorn makes up their mind, like that's what they're going to do. And I think your person pulls in a lot of resources. They think about something, but once they make up their mind, like they're gonna do it. And so it's less of like that in Neptunian, like very intuitive, let me follow my intuition and try to connect with a higher power, and more of, I've looked at everything that I want to look at and I've made this decision and now I'm moving forward. It's less of like that receptive energy. So I do think your person's a little bit stubborn. And then with the Seven of Pentacles, this is all about the energy of like, is this a success? Is this a failure? Is this going to work? Isn't this going to work? I do think that whatever goals your person has in mind, it's a big risk. It's a big ask. It's like, is this going to work or is this not going to work? And so I think maybe your person chooses to stay solitary for now because like they don't know if what they're doing is going to work or isn't going to work. They don't know if they're going to have to change something or not change something. I also think they're considering like their obligations, any roots that they've put down. They might have some money decisions to make, especially because I do think your person's going through some kind of a shakeup. And they might be trying to hide it, Yeah. They might be trying to hide that from people. But so they might be in a more vulnerable position than you realize. So they're kind of thinking, they're reflecting on the situation and kind of what's gone on. Their shakeup, I think probably it could have been news or something from their family. Something about like an inheritance or funding, something like that. So all right, anything else? I think that's what I'm getting for you guys, pile number one. So if that resonated, please do let me know and like and comment and subscribe to my channel. Yeah, this is always the awkward part. I'm just going to silently put the cards away. All right, pile number two. Who is your person? Who you think they are and who are they really? Oh, interesting. Okay. So pile number 2. All right, so let's take a look. I get overwhelmed when I look at the whole thing. So I think I am just going to start with how you are viewing this person. But overall, I think that this person's probably a little more grounded. Maybe a little more grounded. That was the same thing with the first pile. A little more grounded than maybe you realize. That's just first impressions. So let's start over here with how you think this person is. We have water, Pisces, and Aries to start. Pisces and Aries, right? This is like the first and the last signs, right? Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. So it's also, I definitely get like King or Queen of Wands, depending on whatever, like energy or gender that you're dealing with. Because I just see Pisces, Aries as that like King, Queen of Wands energy. Very sexy, very enigmatic, somebody who has a talent for finessing people, probably somebody very witchy, somebody who is talented in the spiritual arts, especially with the water here, somebody very intuitive, but also somebody that goes after their goals with that Aries energy there. With all this emotional energy in Aries, I'm kind of getting kind of like almost moon in the first house energy, somebody who wears their emotions a little bit on their sleeve, but I feel like it's in a pretty tactful kind of a way. I just think that this person's pretty sexy. Let's see. Just because like of the cusp that this is on with, right? Like I'm kind of thinking Revati vibes, and Revati is that jester, kind of like divine jester energy. So this person, you might think that this person's funny. This can also be like Mr. or Mrs. Steal Your Girl, Steal Your Guy. Revati's kind of known for that. Like in a very jestery kind of a way. So I'm getting there's something significant about this person's face and like maybe even their hair that just kind of pulls you in, sucks you in. Yeah. But overall, I do think that you find this person is very intuitive and very emotional. But again, I'm getting activist energy with this group because with the Aries energy and with this Pisces water energy, it's like somebody who's very emotional, very empathetic, somebody who can identify with what people are going through, and especially with that Pisces energy because it's so collective, that with the Aries energy, it's like, but this is a person who takes like individual action about it. This is a person who might like to do a lot of volunteer work up here. I do think that you find this person very physically attractive, especially if they're female or they have a lot of feminine energy to them. So, okay, so down here my intention was 2 light attributes and 2 shadow attributes. So for the light attributes, we have beggar and queen. And the light attribute for beggar is confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. And then with queen, it radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. I'm definitely getting that energy with this pile. Definitely getting like that volunteer kind of an energy. This is a person who holds themselves with a certain amount of dignity. They are somebody who can get people to kind of rally behind them for a cause. This could be a fundraiser type of person. You could notice that this person does a lot of, again, like charity, volunteer work. This person would make an amazing fundraiser, basically. And they are a champion for other people. I mean, especially when it has to do with physical needs, when it comes to the beggar card down here. I mean, like definitely homeless shelters, getting food to people, warm blankets, coats. And this is a person who, even though they're probably very beautiful and they are very enigmatic, they still manage to be humble and compassionate. It's like that's how they display their strength, is through love. And so then with the shadow attributes, we have companion and alchemist here. So the shadow attribute is betrayal by misusing confidences and loss of personal identity. And with the alchemist, we have the shadow attribute of misuse of the power and knowledge that comes through spiritual practice. Interesting, because I'm just getting like, I'm almost getting shadow side Pisces here, because we have that like misuse of knowledge that comes through spiritual practice, and then and Pisces is the wisdom, like very spiritual kind of sign. And then you have the element of water, which of course is love and spirituality and empathy and compassion. So yeah, with that shadow attribute of companion, betrayal by misusing the confidence and loss of personal identity. And then Pisces is where things go to dissipate. So like if you have a sun in Pisces, it can be a challenge because the sun is like it's like your vibrancy. So having that in the 12th house, it's like that's where things want to go to like dissipate and merge. That's why you have that incredible like psychic, almost intuitive identity, because there, anybody who has 12th house planets, I have 12th house planets, by the way. So it can be something that it takes you a while to tap into it in a conscious way, because it's in tune with the spiritual world, a different realm, right? So it's like anything, it's like a gift and a curse. It can be. So that's why I'm getting like kind of the shadow side. It's like this person could, a lot of like with this Pisces water energy, people could want to open up and tell this person a lot of their troubles, and maybe just, I'm not even saying that this person is doing it to be malicious, but this person could like maybe even be a bit of a gossip where they talk about, other people. Maybe this person, it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. This person, I think, has a good heart, and or you think they do at the core of it, but it's like they think everybody has the same heart that they do. You know what I mean? So that could be part of it. But it's like this person, maybe you do think that this person is kind of betraying the trust of people, using that information for their own gain with the Aries energy there. I think that's going to vary for people. But you do see a lot of benevolent qualities to this person. Maybe this person even, like they're a bit flirty or something. So, I'm just going to say this. This is so rude, but I'm going to say it. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. Well, I lived in a spiritual community for a while, and a couple of my friends, there was just this kind of person that would just kind of wander through and be very doe-eyed and, talk about a lot of spiritual concepts, but, it was just kind of like, it didn't feel super grounded in anything, and so it felt like they were trying that on, as an identity. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because we all try on different identities to see what works for us, but, my friend coined this phrase, the Nadias, for, people who weren't really grounding their spiritual practice and just kind of having, some kind of self-destructive behaviors, especially, being really promiscuous. And that's kind of the energy that maybe this is kind of how you're viewing this person. In that Nadia energy, where there wasn't really a lot of self-preservation. You know what I mean? Because with the Aries, there could just be a lot of sexual desire. So, okay, so you're viewing your person's past as the Ten of Swords. So you think that this person has gone through a lot, right? A lot of times people who identify as empathetic or as empaths, a lot of that can be defense mechanisms, because they've had to pay such close attention to people's behavior in order to identify who is going to hurt them and who isn't going to hurt them. So that could be kind of a vibe that you have with your person with the Ten of Swords here. This person could have literally been through some kind of an abusive or traumatic relationship, and then somebody just left them. But yeah, man, you think that your person's really been through it. And then with the Seven of Swords being in their current energy, this is acting independently, yes, but it's you don't really understand this person. And Pisces, Neptune energy, it's it can be that very hazy energy that it's hard for you to see a person clearly. And so I'm kind of getting that with the Seven of Swords, where their actions don't always make sense to you, and you kind of wonder what their motives are. You sense that they have good motives, but then every once in a while maybe they do something that makes you question that with the Seven of Swords, because this is the energy of it can be lying and cheating and taking things from people, acting in a way that is not I want to say moral, but it's not moral. It's not acting in a way that's upstanding or forthright. Forthright is the word I was looking for. Like this, there's an energy of like sneaking around or being deceptive. But in the future, you see this person moving towards some kind of a goal, like some kind of a long-term goal. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you wonder if this person like has good intentions. Like, I don't know. Like in love, like is their love real? Or is it part of like some greater scheme? Because I do think that you see this person as like moving towards some kind of, material goal, but like very smartly. Taking some kind of practical action in the material world. And it could be towards you. It could be towards you, which is why you're trying to figure out who this person really is and what's going on with them. So with the attributes cards down here of who you're thinking that this person is, we've got the Two of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Moon card. And the Moon is major arcana, so that's going to pull a lot of weight down here. And again, the Moon has this really hazy energy of deception. There's something hazy and deceptive about how you're viewing your person. I think you think this person has a lot of secrets, that they've been through a lot, they've got a lot of skeletons in their closet. I do think that you think your person's suffering, kind of behind the scenes, even though maybe it's because of this suffering that they try to help other people. But there's definitely a watery kind of energy. I think your person has heavy water in their chart, whether it is Pisces. I'm also getting Cancer heavily. And it could be Scorpio too, honestly. Especially with the Aries, like that Mars kind of energy. So I think that your person is a very watery person with the Moon here. You guys could have 4th house contacts or 12th house contacts that's making things, or 8th house contacts. You could have, honestly, the water houses 4, 8, and 12. That just makes it makes things a little hazy, but there could be a lot of sexual attraction, especially, here with this Aries card, especially that 8th house. If you have a planet in somebody's 8th house, that's a lot of sexual attraction there. But with the Two of Cups, it's like you view your person as like your person. This is like soulmate kind of energy. It really clicks between the two of you. There could be something kind of opposite about you guys, but just works together. You're viewing this person in a kind of a partner energy where, and I mean that as like you guys could accomplish more together than either of you could alone. And I think that this person has a perspective or some kind of experience or skill set that you really value and would be very complementary to yourself. I mean, you're also seeing this person, again, with the Lion energy, that Leo. I think you're seeing this person as very magnetic, very strong, very attractive, somebody who goes after what they want, and also somebody who's kind of cunning. You think this person is cunning. You don't know if it's harmless or not. Because you know that they're goal-oriented, but what are they after? That's what I find myself asking myself, like through this, where it's like they have all this sexy, passionate, magnetic energy. They are a person that you see as cunning, that you see as somebody who's willing to act deceptively or behind people's backs. There's somebody whose actions you can't always pinpoint, and it's very confusing to you. But you know that this person like isn't stupid and has goals, and that they're working really hard towards it, and that this person might even be acting in a way that's not in line with society. You know what I mean? Like, it could be because this guy's working outside of society. So, yeah. And I think that you view your person as very creative, and I think that's spot on because you have the Black Egg of Creation as your totem. And I think the totems kind of carry over energy, like that's something that's like a core tenet of who they are. So it's like, I do think that your person could be going through some kind of transformation. Water houses are the endings, like endings of kind of cycles. So I think your person could be going through some kind of transformation, which is why it's so hard to pinpoint them. And I do think that your person's been through a lot based on this. So, all right, so let's take a look at who your person is actually. So right off the bat, we have Earth, Taurus, and Moon. So first of all, Taurus moon is exalted. That's an exalted placement. People with a Taurus moon are people that make other people feel naturally comfortable around them. They have a very steady presence to them, a very grounded presence to them. I see that your person is legitimately beautiful with the moon card and with the earth card here. The moon is ruled by Cancer, which, you know, it is a water sign, but also the moon card in regular astrology is ruled by Pisces. So then again, they're right, you know, in who your person actually is. We have that, like, you know, watery Piscean. And you had the moon down here too for who you thought your person is too. So I do think that you're picking up a lot of their major energies, you know, as a person. I think that this person is someone who they like being steady, they like being stable with that earth energy. So I can see how your person, you're picking up on that goal-oriented nature with the earth card here, where you know that they're taking practical steps in building something for the long term, which is what the Suit of Pentacles is really all about. But I'm kind of getting that that's more core to their personality, right? Because you didn't really have much earth up here in like that in their personality. You had it down here. And it's kind of flipped over here because I'm noticing we don't have any earth down here. Just an observation. I do think your person can be, the only words that I'm thinking of are like stubborn and hard-headed, and I don't like them because it's like well, I guess your person could be stubborn and hard-headed, but like, I'm trying to think of a positive word for that, where it's just they're very firm. And they have a lot of energy behind them with this Taurus card. You see, like, just, you can almost feel, feels very visceral to me, where you can just kind of feel the strength of that bull. And like this very stoic, very stern kind of a face here. And then that's backed up again by this kind of earthy energy. With the moon card here, I do think that your person, there's a lot of home environment stuff here. Your person probably has a very beautiful space, or that's very important to them. They probably come more alive at home, which might be why they're throwing you for a loop, especially if you haven't gotten to really see this person in their home environment, hang out with them in their home environment where they feel safe, where they feel comfortable, where they have their like creature comforts around them. Because I think this person likes soft things. They like blankets and pillows, and they like for everything to be really beautiful and smell really nice. They might really like plants and gardening and food. I really think that food is like, your person's very tactile. There's something about their hands too. A lot of times Taurians can work with their hands. That can be their love language. So just pay attention if this is a love connection. Physical touch could be their love language. I know it's definitely mine. I have a Venus in Taurus. And like, because I'm a Gemini sun and a Gemini Mercury. So for a while I thought maybe my love language was talking to people, because I talk with a lot of people, and I like, you know, talking with a lot of people. But I realized, like, as I got older, I was like, the people that I love, like the very few people that I love, because I'm seeing with the moon card here that your person probably has a small circle of friends that really gets access to them. I realized, you know, and I think that your person can be like this, that I initiate physical touch with people that I really like and I really love. And like, you know, I mean, like my poor husband, like I would live my life on him, you know, and that's like such an expression of deep love for me. I think your person is the same way. I don't think your person has a problem with like being open once you get past a certain point with them. They're just kind of guarded and protected. They don't feel the need to have like a lot of people kind of in their life, maybe. But there's definitely the energy of like Venus, you know, and being romantic. This person might turn the heads of, you know, the opposite sex. They might. Because there's a very, you know, beautiful kind of sensual nature to Taurians especially, but you know, that Venus energy. And with the moon, this is Persephone, like reminds me of Persephone, you know, and she's the goddess of spring going through cycles and seasons, but also being like very plump, very voluptuous, something very like alive and vibrant and supple, and you know, yeah, maybe even a little bit moody, but in like a really kind of either deep or endearing kind of a way. And with the Taurian energy there, I think that that moon energy is kind of stabilized, you know? So you have that very nurturing, your person's a nurturer. They like to be nurtured and they like to nurture in return. So let's look down here. With the positive attributes, we have liberator and mediator. So with liberator, it is freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs. I combined all the words. Releasing negative thought patterns. And then with mediator, we have gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life. Respect for both sides of an argument. I'm kind of getting Libra there. And again, with Libra and Taurus, that's that Venusian kind of energy. And I am getting that just like Taurus moon of this person is a nurturer, they're a carer, but they're very grounded in that. This person could be a meditator, they could have a spiritual practice, but that's very rooted in like the earth. Your person could be into herbalism, into plants. Your person could be into spirituality, they could be a therapist, some kind of a carer where they're freeing people from, I mean, just with all the white here, maybe your person's into Kundalini yoga. I just kind of wanted to say that. But yeah, it's like they want to clear away. It's like they have this kind of, this tenacity about them, and they want to use that to clear a way for people. So, and there might be some kind of disagreement with spirituality here, because I'm noticing over here, like how you view their shadow attributes, betrayal by misusing confidence and loss of personal identity. With the shadow attribute, misuse of power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. So it's like this person's kind of a mover and a shaker. They want to clear a way for people. They see themselves, or like, I mean, they're coming through. Life is kind of saying, they're freeing themselves and others from outmoded beliefs. So this person could be pretty grounded, pretty sensual, come on, like there's not really something that like crazy, like, wild in a sense about them. You're kind of, so that's why I think there could be some kind of an outlook disagreement on spirituality or life in general. Because you're seeing them as kind of misusing spiritual knowledge, and they're coming through as freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs and releasing negative thought patterns. I hope I'm doing a good job of explaining that and not offending anyone. And again, with that black egg of creation. So a lot of times, I mean, I think and it's just like, it's an egg with all this earth energy, and like nurturing an egg, like you sit on it, you nurture it, and it hatches from, for itself. There's something very natural, very earthy, very like also trusting life to do its part, sort of an energy to your person. It's actually kind of pleasant. So with their shadow attributes, we have king and seeker. Excuse me, I'm drinking a kombucha and I'm so belchy. So the shadow attribute for king is excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. And seeker, the shadow attribute, is inability to commit to a path once found. So again, like, one of the shadow sides of Taurus and earth signs in general is that stubbornness of, it doesn't have that agility of, the air element or even the water element, in order, like, where it's trying to change, it's gathering, knowledge or information, even though we have seeker as the shadow attribute here. So it's like this person does feel like they're right. They do feel like they're clearing negative blocks. They are set on their course. They're set in their ways. This person's kind of set in their ways. And it's interesting that this inability to commit to a path once found, because there's so much earth energy here that you would think that this person would excel at that. So maybe part of their clearing of these spiritual blocks is they're kind of weighing different traditions against each other, or there's some kind of element there where this person, I mean, I guess you can't say it any clearer than the card, where it's an inability to commit to a path once found. Interesting. So your person's past is the Four of Cups. Maybe this person has spent a lot of time alone. Maybe they have really wanted friends. Maybe they feel like a little bit of an outsider. That stubborn energy could make it difficult to, maybe your person moves around a lot. And so it's made it difficult to establish some kind of a group of friends that is stable and it's there and they have shared values. Taurus also speaks to values. And a lot of the earth signs speaks to values. Again, with the moon and that changing and it being part of the house, I'm getting their physical house. Like this person, like the crab, they could change homes a lot. So yeah, and they could kind of push people away, but like not from a place, it's from a really protected place. I'm getting that with the Cancerian energy here, because Cancers are people who have a lot of Cancer in their chart. They can, they don't want or need like a lot of friends. They just want a few friends that they know are super down for them. And they can have like a lot of trouble trusting because they have that ooey gooey center that they have to like be in their little shell. Whenever they outgrow their shell, they have to like take that step and crawl out to a new shell. And that feels very vulnerable to them, but it feels like doing the good work, And so I definitely see that could be a part of your person's process where they feel like they outgrow something and then they have to move on to the next level, but they can't always take people with them. And they don't really stay in a place for long, even though that could be, and they are in a sense freeing people from these outmoded beliefs. But maybe what would be better for them is especially with all this earth energy, is really committing to something, not because it's the ultimate truth, the truth with a capital T, but because it is stable. And if their foundation is stable, then they can kind of move around it and get a better look at themselves. Again, I hope I'm doing a good job explaining that, because I don't necessarily feel like I am. But yeah, I get this person, they can move away from people easily. They probably cut off friendships prematurely, or they don't open up and get to know people a lot of the ways. But that could be something that they're changing, because in their current energy we have death, and death is the major arcana card here in this section of the spread. So it carries a lot of weight, and it's also in their current energy. So this person has recently undergone a transformation. This could have been one of their moments where this person could have literally moved. They just, kind of completed a cycle and upgraded their little crab shell home. And maybe they cut ties. They're cutting ties. Maybe they cut ties with you or a group that you're associated with or something like that. But this person is like, they are going through a transformation where they're leveling up. And I do think that this person's in reflective mode. I think this is common for this person to be in reflective mode. And maybe that's what this is saying with that shadow attribute, of like feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. It's like this person, that solitary energy maybe lends this person, and not trusting other people, they aren't used to trusting other people's opinions. Maybe they've been let down by other people's opinions. So whenever they have good people around or, solid advice, they struggle to take it because they've just learned to trust themselves so much that it's almost turned to a kind of stubbornness. But your person could be reflecting about that right now, and they could be just gearing up to start a new cycle, a new path in their life, especially their spiritual life with the Death card here. It also could be something about friends. Maybe they are getting friends, something. Yeah. But then the future energy for your person is the Knight of Swords. So this is so funny, because I think where your person's comfortable at home and in their emotions and kind of being closed off, and like I said, they're going through this transformative process right now, they're starting to come out of that shell with the Knight of Swords in the future. And it's going to be a little wobbly, because the Knight of Swords, it's not a super finessed energy. It's very determined. And I think look at the energies in these two cards, right? Like just this forward moving charge. And so your person here, like when they commit to something, they really commit to it. I think that's that king energy of rulership without restraint. They're going to do what they're going to do, right? But the good thing is, I think that's kind of balanced out by this mediator energy, because the light attribute for that is the gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life. So your person is highly concerned with fairness. So it's like, they probably consider themselves a very benevolent ruler and somebody who considers all sides of things. So when they move forward and when they really make up their minds, like they charge full force ahead. And with the air energy, because the air houses, right, the third house, the 7th house, and the 11th house deals with relationships. The third house deals with your community. The 7th house deals with that Libran house, which is also represented here with the Venus energy, represents those one-on-one relationships. And then the 11th house deals with the broader society at large. So I do think that your person is trying to be more social. They could actually be trying to be a little more vocal and a little less closed off. And maybe explain themselves a little bit more, because your person, I feel like, could feel misunderstood by the world around them, and they know that they feel tight. You know, there's that quote that's like, and the time came where the risk to remain tightened to a bud was more painful than, you know, exploding out of it, or that's totally not how that quote goes. I am 100% sure the word exploding is not in that quote, but you get what I'm saying. So this person might want to address gossip. There could be some gossip around your person, and that could be that past energy that you were picking up on, with all the swords energy in this person's back. And like, I think because your person is beautiful and because they're reserved and quiet, it's like people kind of associate. And I think your person's very beautiful, and I think that people distrust that. You know, and they can see that your person's goal oriented, but because they're just a private person, people have kind of painted certain qualities onto them that are maybe like a little hoey. But I don't think your person is hoey. And so I think your person might be kind of coming forward to address some of that gossip, if that is the case, because they want to start standing up for themselves in that way, if that's resonating for some of you. So with the attributes down here, we have the Magician, the 5 of Wands, and the 7 of Cups. So the Magician is the major arcana here, energy here, so it's pulling a lot of weight. And the Magician is the energy of Mercury. And this is a very creative energy. It's divine masculine energy. It's primordial. It's trust in the universe. I do think your person has trust in the universe. They're plugged in some kind of a way where they're like almost a divine channel for like spiritual concepts. They say it, I do think your person is a talented communicator. I don't know if I said that before. I'm not getting it in the same way that pile 1's person is. You know, it's like, maybe this person, they're like super stable, they like their creature comforts and all of that, but your person is smart. Your person is like, there's a lot of manifestation kind of energy. They can kind of create their material world around them. And there is something kind of divine about it. Your person does want to bring in some kind of divinity to the world in a very practical. And there's also like just this energy of growing with Taurus and the earth energy. And then like the Magician is causing flowers to grow. So it's like your person is bound and determined to make the world a better place. They want to ground down spiritual concepts. Maybe you guys will resonate with pile 1, because it's like, it is definitely different energy, but also kind of the same. So yeah, I do think that your person is kind of young in doing it though. Like, they're figuring it out. They're going to get there, but it's not quite conscious how they're doing this. Like, I just kind of feel like they're tapped in. They're kind of just tapped into something. This person definitely could have some 12th house planets or some Pisces energy in their chart. With the 5 of Wands, your person's a debater. They're not afraid. This person is not afraid to challenge other people. You know, I think they, you know, prefer not to, but what they know as truth, like they take as truth. And so they might kind of fight things. Your person is also concerned with ideas. They're concerned with ideas. They're concerned with different paths forward. And they do concern themselves with like the well-being, the spiritual well-being of people. But this person like follows their gut. There's a lot of like intuitive following of the gut kind of energy. But yeah, your person's down to debate something. The 5 being the number of the human being, it's like, and with all this earth energy, like rightful living, something about rightful living a righteous kind of a path. And then with the 7 of Cups here, I mean, your person, I think, is a dreamer. They probably spend a lot of time in fantasy land, but like not in that condescending way that people always say that. That's not what I mean. But I think that your person just, they feel so comfortable at home. This is probably part of that manifestation energy. It's like your person is a dreamer. I think they're very idealistic, and but it's like, I think that's what's causing some of this kind of gunk up, is like, they're idealistic, they have really high standards, they themselves, they know that they're capable of achieving them, so they think the people around them are capable of achieving them, and so sometimes they might push that a little far, you know? I also think your person's kind of beautiful. With the Gemini energy, I'm just getting this, just hear me out. With the Magician, because that's Gemini Virgo, and then with the Neptune energy here, I'm kind of getting like a Marilyn Monroe vibe, again with like the bombshell, like kind of very beautiful, because she was a Gemini, but I think she had Neptune in the first house, and that's just a sign of beauty, because people can kind of see what they want to see in her. But she had that Geminian quality too, where she was very kind of very pixie-like. So I still am getting like this kind of beautiful vibe to your person, and I think they might be a little sassy, a little witty, and they concern themselves definitely with deep things. So yeah, number 2, I think that's all I've got for you guys. So if that resonated, please do like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Love, this is so interesting, isn't it? All right. All right, pile number 3. Let's see who you think your person is versus who they are. Oh my gosh, I already know who this person is. Oh my gosh. You guys have been on this channel before. Can already tell you this. Okay, pile number 3. First of all, welcome back to this channel, because you guys have been here before. I already recognize this energy. I did a reading not too long ago. I wish I could remember what it was. Actually, 2 readings where this energy, this person showed up. So I feel like I already know your person, and we're going to have a similar conversation to what we had before. But I think that you guys might be a little more prepared for this this time around, because this energy is a little more congruent. So okay, let's start over here with how you're viewing your person. To start, we have the sun, air, and fire. So I think that you, first of all, with the sun and the fire card here, that's that Leo, very fiery, magnetic energy. I think find your person very sexy. This could be a person in a leadership position. They could have children. Very romantic. This is a person that you are attracted to. I would be surprised if you were not attracted to this person. Just with the energy of fire here, it's like, I think this person strikes you as very goal-oriented, but like in a very passionate sort of a way. And how they really are, I'm just going to say this now, it's a bit cooler, like a lot cooler than how you're viewing it, because you're viewing it with like this sizzle to it. And there's definitely sexual attraction, I think, here in this pile, but there's less fire over here than over here. There's like, yeah. So you are seeing this person with the qualities of fire, where they're like a very, honestly, this pile might worry me, because it's like they're coming off so magnetic. This person could be a successful person. Also with the energy of air here, it's like you think they're very smart. Again, I was just explaining to the last pile, the air houses, the 3rd house, the 7th house, and the 11th house, those are all houses that rule like communal relations. And the sun, like it's the center of the zodiac, and I think Mercury is exalted in Leo. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. So your person might have a talent for talking. They might be a real slick talker. They might not talk a lot, but they have the gift of the gab, and I think they might have a little bit of a manipulative kind of a tongue because they use it kind of to achieve their own passions. This is a person who follows their passions. I think you find that very attractive about this person. And this person, they're powerful in some kind of a way. Could have a leadership position of some kind. So down here, my intention with this was we have 2 light attributes and then 2 shadow attributes. So the light attributes, we have warrior and servant. And again, this is how you're seeing your person. So the light attributes for warrior, it's strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice and conquering the ego. I wanted to say stoicism, but I wasn't really getting it from this pile. I'm just remembering from other readings that this person comes off very stoic, and this person like legitimately is pretty stoic. So yeah, like you definitely see your person as someone who's stoic, but it's like there's a power to them that you find kind of heroic and legendary. I want to use the word legendary. You know, it's definitely noteworthy, like how strong this person is. You find this person very strong. And it's interesting because you see them as like self-sacrificing and conquering the ego, and the sun being like the card of ego. Like, so I think you think this person kind of has a healthy ego. Like they can back it up. You know what I mean? I'm getting that Beyonce song like, you don't need to call into work because you're the boss. He got a big ego. Listen to that song if you want. Okay. So with the servant, the light attribute is delights in serving others with a free and loving heart. And again, like you see on the sun card, like he's channeling this heart energy and this mind energy. So you see this person probably is being very loving. You probably think this person would make a good father, or they are a father, or they, like, if they're a boss, like they kind of have that benevolent father kind of a vibe to them, but they're still like very stoic, and they pay attention to the numbers. Like they're good at their job, but they're also good at like the people part of it too. You might think this person, I don't know why I'm like getting like a very smart, well with the air card, I'm getting very smart energy. You know, this person might be good with statistics or numbers, catching all the little details. And they're legitimately good at that. So with the shadow attributes, we have the monk or nun card and the saboteur. So the shadow attribute for the monk or nun card, we have negative judgment of the physical world, excess piety. Your person is so interesting, oh my gosh. And then saboteur, shadow attribute, induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. There could be some like kind of weird aestheticism like with your person. Maybe like they have a very specific restricted kind of a diet. I'm not getting the energy of fun, despite like all the sun and fire and passionate energy and being able to kind of work a crowd. I'm not getting that this is like, you know, a person that you necessarily think fun. Like you think magnetic, you think strong, you think stoic. You know, you think somebody who pulls people together for something, for a cause. Maybe even through ideas. They can really motivate people to get going. This could be your boss. But there's something about them, like maybe they dress really simply. Maybe they don't like people who wear a lot of makeup. You know that about them. Maybe self-destructive behavior. I'm just getting that, like, I don't know, despite their talents with these things, like they might keep to themselves. Yeah, it's like, you know that the Da Vinci Code, and there was like that monk guy that would like whip himself, like he put like that belt on, something like that, like where there's like a purpose to that self-destructive kind of behavior. But it could even be something like I said, you know, this person eats like bland chicken, you know, for their health. Or, you know what I mean? Like they don't like put a little hot sauce on it. You know what I'm saying? So something like that. So your person's past you're seeing as the world, and this is a major arcana card. So I think that you see them as like having wrapped up a cycle. They could have maybe even been in a relationship, because to me the world is a union card, but they're also like on a beach There's some kind of fulfillment, but also like, I don't know, there's something carefree about this card, and I don't think that your person's very carefree. I don't think you think they're very carefree. They're not. I'm a jerk. No, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just reading what I'm seeing in the cards. So, there's something this person said goodbye to. They could have moved from somewhere. Like maybe this person's new at your company or something. Maybe they moved away from you. Something, this with the world, like, there could be something online with the internet, something with distance. Yeah. But there even could be a person that you're thinking of, like, in your person's past. I don't know, I'm kind of getting the energy of, like, a social climber. I think you think your person's a social climber, and I think that came up in another reading with your person. So, with the Knight of Wands, I think your person, like, had some kind of achievement, actually. Let me just say with the World cards. Like, they had some kind of achievement, and now they're starting over, like, on a new level. So, like, when you achieve something new, you kind of, like, when you pop up into that new level, like, the level that you were on, like, now you're up above it, and you're starting over. So, with the Knight of Wands energy, I think there's a project, there's an achievement that your person is working towards. And they're using, again, with the fire energy, that goal-oriented, they're trying to take stock of their resources. They're trying to figure out exactly what they can do in order to accomplish some kind of a goal with this dragon on top of the mountain here. So this person could, like, have been brought into a company to fix something. That could be what they do for a job, is like there's some kind of a fixer. Maybe this is a lawyer, somebody who fights something, and they're taking on a new project. This could be a very successful person if they are like a lawyer or something like that. This person definitely could be a lawyer. But with the Hangman in the future position, I'm getting, like, that you feel your person is headed, and this could be echoed in the Knight of Wands, like you feel like your person's having some kind of a spiritual awakening, and that could be like the shadow attributes too, where this person might be, like, really super flinging themselves into, like, minimalism or something, but it's grounded in maybe some kind of, like, philosophical realization. Maybe their office is pretty sparse, and you're like, you need a plant, or something. But then moving into the Hangman energy, it's like, this is all about seeing things from a different perspective, being kind of stagnant. So maybe your person, you're seeing them as, like, they were brought in to be some kind of a leader. They're very stoic, but they are a person who, like, they're very smart. They crunch all the numbers. So you see them as going into this kind of reflective state, trying to see something from all angles, having a little bit of a spiritual bent. And again, I'm getting that weird energy of, like, not self-destructive behavior, excess piety. I don't know, because it's like he's hanging himself upside down in a tree, and that doesn't seem very comfortable. So it's like your person's probably putting themselves through some kind of discomfort in order to achieve a goal. That's it. That's what I've been trying to say. And with the monk nun kind of energy, I don't know, I'm getting, there's spiritual kind of energy here. So it could be some kind of a philosophy or some kind of system, self-improvement system, something like that. But your person, you feel like, is taking kind of like a structured approach to it. So with the attributes cards down here, we have the Five of Cups, the Tower, and the Knight of Swords. And the Tower is the major arcana card here, so it's going to pull a lot of weight. This is that energy of transformation. I'm thinking that you're thinking your person maybe went through a divorce of some kind of separation. Maybe they moved away. Maybe they had to move out of their house. Maybe you're married to this person, or you were, because, I mean, clearly we've got this imagery of the king and queen being flung from the Tower. And the World card is an ending and a letting go and a closing of a cycle and even moving away. So you definitely could think that your person is kind of moving on. Maybe you think that your person is entertaining romantic or sexual conquests, and that they're taking time to be reflective and maybe even quiet about those. Yeah, and I think I'm remembering that from the other, you think your person might be a little bit of a player kind of energy. I think I'm remembering that. I'm also kind of getting that here too. But, like, relationships really don't progress with this person. And you could think that's because they're grieving, right, with the Five of Cups. And, I mean, you could have thought that your person, maybe you think that their relationship devolved because of a third party situation, but you do think that this person is in a period of reflection and grieving. And that they're quiet, and maybe that's why they keep to themselves. Maybe you feel like your person's punishing themselves for something. But also with the Knight of Swords, it's like they're quick to like use their words in a harsh kind of a way. There's still some kind of like, with the Knight energy here, there's energy of like moving forward with purpose, and not really thinking about consequence. The Knight of Swords is very brash, and he's like not really focused on the more social aspects like the King and Queen of Swords have kind of learned to be. He wants to like get in there and get the job done. He wants to test his mettle. He wants to show his knowledge, He might have an urgent message that he just needs to get out at all costs, but he's not being very tactful with his words. You might think that, maybe you think your person's not so great with words, that they're kind of sharp and prickly a little bit, but that it comes from this place of emotional turmoil or something. But the Knight of Wands is kind of the playboy card, so you could see this person being a little bit of a playboy or a playgirl. But I think that you don't think that's who this person really is, that they're just going through this because of whatever it is that they've been through, and that they'll have, like, that's going to slow, and they're going to have, like, some kind of spiritual realization or look at this from a clearer perspective, like, in the future. So that's, like, how you're thinking of your person. And what's interesting is, like, your totem is the heart, and so maybe there's something kind of loving about your person. And like this, my friend got me this from Kundalini Yoga, like their solstice celebration, I think. And you're supposed to put it in the middle of your house, and it's supposed to, like, bring the home really together. And I'm seeing that energy with the sun here, that you see that in your person. And that could be a part of who your person is, like having the talent of bringing people together for some kind of a cause. So, okay, who your person really is over here. We have the energy of Saturn, Pluto, and Virgo. First of all, Saturn and Pluto are heavy karmic cards. So your person could be on some kind of a mission that is very karmically related. It feels kind of cold, there could be some kind of delay involved. Something like that. With the energy of Saturn here, this again is that fatherly energy that you're picking up on with the sun. It's just colder with the Saturn energy. And Saturn is like that tough father, disciplinary figure. So I kind of see like the sun mixed with the air card as kind of producing this Saturn energy. But Kronos eats his own kids. That Saturn is Kronos. And so there might be something a little ruthless, a little cutthroat with this person, even with the Pluto card here too, because Pluto is the energy of death, transformation. It's a cold kind of, both of these are such cold energy. Saturn is a cold planet. Pluto is like the furthest planet out. It's not a planet anymore, I know, but in astrology, like the physical bodies are called planets, like even the sun and the moon. So that's why I call it a planet. But I think I don't know. I'm kind of like getting vaginal imagery here with this Pluto card. And also Pluto does rule sex, but like this kind of looks a little vaginal to me. And with, I don't know, maybe your person's very detached in their sexual drive, like their sexual conquests. They might have a lot of sexual partners. And I think your person might be pretty dominant. That's just kind of coming through. I think your person is very goal-oriented. Again, very dominant. I think, it's their way. They're very strategic, and they're willing to wait a long time to achieve their goals. This is definitely, with all three of these energies here, this is a person who waits and builds things over time. Virgo is a mutable energy, but it's mutable earth. So you have that mutable energy in that very grounded medium of earth. And earth is such a building kind of an element. And then Saturn is the natural ruler of Capricorn, which is another earth sign. And it is the natural ruler of the 10th house, which is career and status and image. So I think your person's career is a big part of their image. With Virgo, it could be some kind of a helping profession. Also, I mean, this person could be a doctor or some kind of a healer, maybe even a surgeon, with the energy of Pluto and Virgo here, because Virgo rules the 6th house of like medicine and helping people, injuring, medicine, honestly, just medicine. Also, it rules small animals. And then Pluto, like a lot of times, this is the natural ruler of the 8th house in Western astrology. It's not recognized in Vedic, but that is the house of surgeries, and like cutting things open, deep, dark secrets. So this person, they could seem like they have a lot of secrets and that they're very closed-lipped. You just sense that there's a lot more to them because they are very stoic. They are very closed-lipped. This is not a highly emotional person. And even their personality is carefully curated, and they consider, they like to be around powerful people. They do want to achieve power with the Pluto card here. They do have their eyes on long-term wealth building. This person's very this could be a banker. And they definitely curate their personality. They're definitely very aware of their image. They think about the clothes that they're going to wear. They think about the haircut they're going to have. They think about the words that they're going to say, how they present themselves. Definitely. So let's move down here. So light attributes and shadow attributes. So the light attributes, we have teacher and shapeshifter. And the light attribute is ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. You picked up on that this person's a communicator. And then with the shapeshifter, the light attributes is skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. Your person spots opportunities. They definitely have an eye for spotting opportunities and taking action towards that. This is a very observant person. They have with the Virgo energy, this person has an eye for detail. Virgos are known for their eye for detail. They're also known for being able to curate things. They can tell you kind of what changes that you need to make with yourself to live a good life, a healthy life, to improve your health, to improve your social standing. They're definitely they have that ability. And I do think, again, this person is curating their personality based on what groups they're in order to achieve. So then the shadow attribute, we have mother and angel. So the shadow attribute for mother is smothering or abandoning children. Again, we have the energy of Kronos, who eats his own babies. I mean, no judgment, but total judgment, Kronos. What's going on there? Instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. This is definitely a person who likes to have control over people. They like to get collateral. This person is a deep diver. They like to find information on people so that they know how to motivate them. And by motivate, I mean they want to know where their buttons are, right? They want to know how to keep them. I don't know, it's kind of icky. And so it's your person has this fatherly energy of they present this image of, nurturing the team or whatever, but really when it comes down to it, if this person doesn't want you to leave them, they're not going. They're going to find out that dirt on you to be able to keep you. They're going to figure out, this is a person who's going to figure out how you tick. And can speak to that almost in a scary kind of a way. I don't know, maybe this person's even into NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, where they're formulating, oh my gosh, you guys, be so careful, because this person could be into NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. This is using speech patterns and tricks of hypnosis to plant ideas in people's heads, especially with their talent for communication. It would not surprise me at all if this person has studied that. So just careful. So the angel card with the shadow attributes, we have acting innocent or angelic to mislead others. Boo! Your person has some very troubling traits. Pile number 3. Falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. Well, isn't that just upsetting? This person, I feel like, is just a manipulator. They're a very skilled manipulator. They have deep, deep insight, and they have the talent of being able to pick up on things about people. And if they can't pick up on them like in real time, they're going to research that person. They're going to find out about that person's past. They're going to find out about that person's work goals and ambitions, and they're going to like use it to their advantage. They pretend to be innocent. The Art of War, Sun Tzu. Appear weak when you're strong and strong when you are weak, because the art of war is deception. So it's like whenever this person's playing weak and getting you to open up and be vulnerable, they're gathering information to use later on. But this person's image could have something to do with like being benevolent. But it's like they're also like very cunning and a business person and somebody who is very concerned with getting power and money and assets and things like that. Sex. This definitely is a person who could be into like BDSM. They like dominating people. So your person's past is the Ace of Pentacles. Like in the past, this person had some kind of stability. They had some kind of, maybe they did start over. I'm getting the energy of like they did have a stable home life with the Ace of Pentacles. That was promising, that was shiny, that was new. Maybe that they were like just starting to build. Maybe this person had been married or been engaged, or I don't know, maybe even like had a baby, or they were having a baby. When I feel like if this person's relationship broke down, it's like the relationship was like, it's sooner than you would have expected this. Like maybe this person had recently got married to someone, or they like recently had a kid with someone, or they recently proposed to someone, and then like something came out, and then that's when it kind of devolved. But definitely you see this person's past as like they have probably gotten some kind of money. Maybe they got a lucky break. And that could even be like this job that you're meeting them at. Like they have achieved something in the past. They had been on their way to achieving some kind of financial, monetary, like stable success. I don't know. And then